We're live. Hi, everybody.
We are live?
We did it.
We got a passive yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Boy, will we feel stupid later.
Hey, everyone. Welcome. This is just a little fun, casual GM Q&A.
I have a lab coat.
He's a scientist today.
Doctor, Professor, GM.
My lab coat's in the bucket.
I don't have a lab coat.
The bucket. The lab coat bucket.
And it's stained with pink hair chalk wax stuff.
Like any good lab coat is.
Yeah.
That's how they should be. Mine's far too clean. You can tell no actual science has been done in this coat.
No science.
Absolutely no science at all.
You're too clean.
All I do is kill player characters.
It's covered in blood.
No. Don't do that.
So, Malevolence finale is coming. Did you want to talk about this? This is your show.
Yes.
Okay.
Because do we have official affirmation?
We should have mentioned this beforehand.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned also at the same time that you did.
But it is good to go.
Apparently, yes.
Okay. So we will have Bryn back. She's just in general also. That's exciting.
That'll
But
be
we
cool.
will have Bryn back. So we will be doing the Malevolence finale on next Monday, which is October 30th, day before Halloween, the perfect time.
Almost Halloween.
It's
Malevolence finale.
Halloween's
Fun fact,
Eve.
that's what it was supposed to be in the first place.
Yep.
So
Full circle, baby.
We got there. We got our Malevolence
Yep.
Halloween. It was
Halloween's
just-
Eve.
The year was a different one than we thought it was
Eve.
going to be.
But we did it.
It's terrible to schedule with people around the holidays.
Yes.
It just,
Oh,
we're even
boy,
seeing that
howdy.
with Strange Aeons right now because
Yes.
we're having people like,
There's a lot of in and out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff
it just
going
happens.
on, and I don't even know what we're gonna have in November and December. I know obviously we're gonna be missing one show that's December. Would be I think December 1st is the Saturday for Strange Aeons because basically like all of UGT is gonna be at PAX Unplugged.
Yes.
So there's gonna be a lot of undeniably good times at PAX Unplugged. If you're going up there, you get to see like half of the cast. It's gonna be a bunch of us.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're running like any shows that weekend because boy howdy, there's seriously like half of us are gonna be going. It's a big old group adventure and it's gonna be fun and stuff. Scott! First off, I hope Bryn feels better soon. Second, would you consider giving a tour of your studio to a visitor from South Dakota if I can ever manage a vacation? It is one chamber. There's really like
an open room.
I don't know how to tell you. You've basically seen all of it except for like the bathroom.
There's a bathroom right there.
There's also a utility sink in the corner.
A little utility sink.
Well, it's
Like,
a bathroom
literally-
where the
so
sink
imagine-
doesn't work, so we have the other sink.
Imagine a room, like one singular room, and in that room there is a table.
There you go. There, this is going to go on Twitter.
Whoa.
There you go.
We are making content in the middle of the content.
This is content. Don't mind it. It's foggy on my phone.
It's
Shut
literally
up.
just like
That's a
it's
door.
us, and there's
That's
the
the
other side of the
door.
table, and there's the
Ceiling.
GM
Then there's,
and
like,
whoever's running the show, like Arcade is
those
right
are
now.
the cubbies.
And then behind them is a bathroom and a little utility cubby where the sink is, and also where
Okay.
we just store props.
The
and
idea
stuff.
of a
There's-
sink is in the bathroom.
There's the bathroom as the concept of a sink. I mean, it's honestly, if anything, it's too much of a sink. The problem is not that it is less of a sink; it is too
There's
sink.
a mass
I'm really
amount of
glad
sink.
that one
It
broke
would-
down. We
it
would
would-
have had an excess of sink
It
going
is really
on.
excited to dispense water, which is like what the thing a sink is supposed to do, but only like localized in one place.
All right, there you go, Scott. It's on Twitter now. And also, natural plug. Follow us on Twitter at UGT UGT Show.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really like you can see it. There is like a little gap in between the two backdrops that is the door that we use to get into the studio, and then a little gap over here between that backdrop and where the GM sits, and then the gap here is the door to the bathroom. It's not huge. It's like this is kind of it.
Somebody in the chat said I'm short, and I didn't catch the name, but you'll catch these hands.
If you can,
I detest this.
she can't reach you. It's
She
over.
I'm
can't.
not that
Cannot.
short. Y'all are just everybody else is
I'm
just
not
tall.
short. You guys are just tall.
No, we looked this up because so the average height for a woman is
5'8".
It was not 5'8", and that would make me short because it's not 5'8". It was like 5'4". It's not.
I will pull
nope,
up Google.
It's not
this
that.
This is a
it's
casual
not that
talk show.
because
I will pull. Oh, he's Googling for us.
Gary!
Average
It was Gary!
U.S. height female 5'4". All right.
5'4".
Okay, and I'm exactly, and so I'm taller than that.
How tall are you?
My immediate response is there's no way it's that low. But then I think about it and I'm like, actually, no. Yeah, that 5'4" seems right. There's a lot of like very...
I am 5'5" and 3/4. So, you know.
I don't believe you.
What do you mean you don't believe
You're being
me?
too specific with the quarters.
You meant a lot to me
breaking
in middle
this table.
school. I can't help it.
5... Trying to think mentally. 5... Yeah, I guess. It feels like you're shorter than 5'5", but I mean...
You're trying to visualize me next to a ruler right now.
Literally in my head, I'm like,
Next to roughly 5 and a little bit more of rulers. And that's Sully.
Please.
tape measure.
No, where did you find that?
Here, do it right now. Stay set. Do it right now.
Stay set?
Yeah.
Stace, how are we gonna get
Measure
the height
me
you sitting,
sitting?
Corey?
Yeah, no, this is gonna work.
How
No, don't
this
measure
is
me
gonna be a
sitting.
sitting height. It's like 4'3".
There you
Well,
go, everybody.
and
She's
Sienna, now I gotta go
4'3".
up. No!
There she is.
Sully is confirmed
I keep
officially
breaking this.
4'3".
It's not
She's
true.
officially
It's not. It's
Over a
propaganda.
foot shorter than the average height.
It's actual propaganda.
This is our GM talk show.
This is the GM
where
one.
we learn about running games and stuff.
Well, okay, so segue. if you do have questions, we all have varying levels of experience in both Pathfinder and Starfinder and GMing in general. So you're welcome to ask anything in the chat, and we will answer it. Or if you want to get priority, you can tip $1,
Yeah,
and
you
we
don't
will.
have to. You don't have to tip $1.
You don't have
We
to.
read the chat. The chat's on the
Yeah.
screen. We usually are looking at the map on. It's just if you tip, we're gonna drop whatever we're doing to answer the question. Unless what we're doing is also answering a previous tip still. Although we could get into true chaos if we're just like screw it. Someone tips, drop whatever we're doing. We read the first two
nobody
words of someone's tip, and then someone else tips. We're gone. Sorry.
Honestly,
thanks
that's
for the
kind of a fun energy to bring.
If nobody asks a question in the next
Popcorn.
15 minutes, this will immediately become a Survivor fan cast. That's a threat and a promise.
How simple can you make running a game? Do rules really matter? Well, I mean, a game of Pathfinder specifically, or like a tabletop game in general? Because boy howdy, there aren't any rules. Tabletop games, it can be real simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like Pathfinder specifically, we're getting more into like at what point are you still legally playing Pathfinder territory, I guess.
Yeah.
But like tabletop, there's some very rules light tabletops out there. Like 10 Candles is a really good one.
10
specifically.
Candles is
We can
good.
talk about 10 Candles.
Roll for Boots
Roll for Boots is great.
doesn't have any rules
It
when
had-
you walk into it.
Roll
right?
for Boots is only its only rule is that you will have one skill, and then if you want to do anything else, you roll for it, and if you pass, you get a point in that skill. So it's
Oh, you
this.
tell
So
me
you
about
like
this one.
make
Yeah.
up
Just
new
making
skills.
up skills.
Yeah.
You can
okay.
be
I
literally.
would love to do a one-shot with it sometime.
Currently, I have Kineticist on the brain, so Kineticist question. How do you think 2nd edition Kineticist compared to 1st edition? Also, how likely would you be to play a Kineticist, trauma notwithstanding? I'm a level with you. I have not read Rage of Elephants.
I haven't either, but I would
I,
love to play. I would love to play
we read the
Kinesis.
playtest, but
Kinesis is the one that we read.
yes,
So which one
Kineticist
is?
the
The
all
boom one.
elements control. You pick an element that you return to.
yes.
Kind of thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I would kill
But-
to play Kinesis. They seem
They
fun as
seem
hell.
They do, I mean, the concept is really cool.
Some
but
seemed
as
more
we
fun
don't-
than others.
We don't currently have any in any of our parties. I haven't read about it, so
Yeah.
I, from what I saw in the playtest and from what I've heard about it so far, I mean, it sounds like it's super cool. 1st editions was so complicated.
I remember you saying
It
that when we
was-
did the original cast.
So complicated. So I kind of appreciate it being pared down. That said, I'm a little sad to see no equivalent of like Burn, because that was really the thing that Kineticist did. That was like the thing that made it unique. I don't know if I told you guys about Burn. If you
You
remember
did.
what it was. It
I
was-
don't remember.
Whereas like you sort of fizzled out.
It was basically you could inflict what is functionally drained
Yeah.
to yourself. You could inflict drain to yourself, and that was like your focus points. Was you just punch yourself for drained one, and it just kept stacking as many times as you wanted to do it.
That's cool.
Well, not as many times as you wanted to do it. There was a cap based on your con score, your con modifier. So not only did you have that somewhat limited for like a total amount of points, but you also were getting weaker every time you did it because you're like super overexerting, and it was kind of cool.
I
honestly.
like that idea.
Yeah,
I think that's
that's
really cool to like spend basically your health, sort of.
Yeah,
like your well-being.
it was really interesting to have. Like, you will be weaker for the rest of the day
Yeah.
if you use this
like a
big
push
ass
your luck
power.
kind
yeah,
of
exactly.
class, which is really
It's like a
fun.
final hurrah kind of.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
the biggest condition on Kinetic's burn is no matter what any other rule or mechanic or anything said, absolutely nothing but a full night's rest can restore your burn. So like nothing
That's
can do it. 'Cause it's like
cool.
you
I like
you
that.
have to eat it.
And they didn't bring that back.
No, they don't have burn anymore. Now they are much more of just they're kind of like magic fighters. Where fighters are sort of just like pick a weapon, and your feat list for fighters is just a ton of one-off individual powers, and just pick what abilities you want on your action bar. And Kineticist is that largely, but for elemental magic rather than fancy ways to punch people.
I think that's I personally find that a little more fun than just having like a weapon. Like being able to burst into flames and then sock someone in the face sounds a little more fun than just like having
they are
a
super
sword.
cool.
Yeah.
I do think they're really interesting. I'm sort of surprised nobody has like asked to play one yet in any of the groups that I'm aware of.
I have said whatever campaign I end up on next, I want to play Kinetic. Like I have like said that like I think I've said it on stream. I want to
I
be
think we got distracted
Kineticist.
because everyone wanted to play a Thaumaturge. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
we got a lot of
Thaumaturge is so
Thaumaturges.
freaking cool. So
Yeah.
we got Thaumaturge and Malevolence. We got Thaumaturge and Abomination
Yeah,
Balls. It's just
that's
Thaumaturge
true.
all over the place. Because the Thaumaturge was too damn cool.
Well,
So
and
we-
nobody picked classes for Strange Aeons.
And Strange Aeons,
so nobody could have.
and I was trying to
Yeah.
pick classes. I think Strange Aeons started before we had full Kinesis rules anyway.
Mhm.
Because Rage of
That's
the Elements
true,
is still pretty
actually.
recent.
The-
So,
Rage of the, oh no, that
I
was
would have been given
2000.
someone a playtest class to do that at the time.
Is Thaumaturge flavor like Witcher style, where
Very much
like
so,
you just
yeah.
have like some basic spell kind of
The-
quote unquote spells?
The default flavor of Thaumaturge is you are like a monster expert. So you have that like esoteric lore and exploit vulnerability thing.
Mhm.
That whatever it is you come up against, you're like, I know how to beat this. Like I know, and that's what the weak to me. The way we kind of meme it with Talis. The weak to me is they don't have a weakness, but you know some little specific vulnerability that you can exploit to use.
Gotcha.
But it only works for you. And I think there might be feats at like higher level that let your party do a little bit of it, but
Yeah.
it's pretty much like you're the only one with the knowledge to use it
Yeah.
properly.
That's cool.
Someone asked, it was up a little bit further, but somebody asked, how do you find local play group? Or like, how do you find people to play with? And I have experience with this one where it is, you can go to your local game stores normally have like
That
some
is
sort
what
of
I did.
organized play. That's how a lot of us here met, or a lot of you guys, we met through different means. But yeah, that's like local
Most
game
of us
stores.
met through Warhammer 40k, so it was not related, but it worked out.
There's that. There's if you're local to Central Florida, there's the Heroes Wanted stuff, which I think Greg is in the chat still. Hi, Greg. That is specifically made for you to like kind of learn D&D and meet a bunch of people. And there's also the way I did it was I played online a lot. There was like a subreddit that was just about finding games, like finding people to play games with, and you kind of end up joining a lot of games that then
There you
fizzle
go.
out or have bad people.
I can't have this. I can't not play with it the entire stream.
Oh.
I don't even have a fidget cube in here. Mine's gone.
How does it go?
How does it go?
How do I put it back?
Hit the
The
button.
button.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, the
mistake.
online stuff is kind of the easiest, and it works best if everyone is online. Because if it's like you're the only one online playing, and then everyone else is in the room, it's not fun. Because
Yeah.
you get just talked over.
I think the best way to do it, I really am always going to be a proponent of in person.
Yeah.
Ever since we started doing the UGT thing, the big defining thing I had that made UGT different from 2 Perception is that every show we do is people at a table.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't stream anything that's over Roll20 or Foundry or Zoom or whatever. We are all here rolling actual physical dice because I really like the in-person. And like
Yeah.
you said,
Yeah.
going down to like a game store is just the way to do it. When I moved down, the first time I moved out of the city I went to school in, I went to just go live by myself in Utah. I went down to a couple of the game stores, and they've usually got like a bulletin board in there for specifically this purpose.
Yep.
Where people will say they're looking for people for some campaign or whatever, or you can just put up like, hey, anybody want to play Pathfinder? And
Normally there'll be people who say yes.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. No, I
Or you can usually just go in there and you can ask the people who work there, people who run the shop, like, hey, do you have groups come in and play D&D or whatever? Because they're there all day. They know when the people come in. It's usually the same time every week. And that's how I found my group back in Utah. Was I literally just bulletin boarded it.
it also helps if you play other games. Like, so normally a lot of comic shops and game stores will have Friday Night Magic, which is just you go play Magic the Gathering Friday night.
Sure.
And that's a lot of people who are playing a Wizards of the Coast thing. Yeah, exactly.
I met almost everyone we had in UGT. Like outside of, we got like 2 groups in UGT. The people that just came in mass from like Heroes Wanted, Ocalian Knights, and everybody else I met playing Warhammer. Like it's 2 entire halves. It's like Nick and Jen and Kobe. Those are all, I met them all playing Warhammer. So it's completely unrelated game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like being open to learning other games helps you you can work your way into Pathfinder essentially, is if you play other games as well. That's my recommendation. It's our recommendation.
Yeah, Kobe had like a 3-hour idiot mosh pit of 60 to 90 pink horrors stuck in melee combat with 60 to 90 termagants, and nothing happened. So how much do I have to give for Rage the Elements reading stream, or at least a reading of Kineticist Beats stream?
Oh my god.
That's not, I mean, honestly,
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's
not
a good
bad
idea.
idea to do. We have floated
Somebody
the
write that
idea of
down.
doing like a new book review, because Spizo puts out a lot of like new classes and stuff. We fairly consistently cover the playtests.
Yeah.
But then we never go back and cover the actual book when it
Yeah.
comes out. We
Very
just do the
true.
playtest.
I mean, Starfinder Enhanced came out. We could do a whole
It's
review
true. We
of
literally
that,
just got an entire
Yeah,
Starfinder
no,
thing.
that's
Yeah.
true.
which
There's-
is fun.
Added a lot of stuff.
And there's a ton of super interesting Pathfinder classes that come out that we just don't ever look at. I usually don't even look at them until I play them. Like, I just barely looked at Psychic a couple of weeks ago. Psychic's freaking cool. Did you guys know Psychic is freaking cool?
I didn't know there was a psychic class,
I got
but I'm
distracted.
interested.
I
like
knew there was a
commentaries,
psychic
but, like,
class.
But Psychic's freaking awesome too, and I just found out that I just found out anything about what that does. Not terribly long, but look at all these classes, dude. Look at all
I
this
saw
crap.
that.
There's so
No
many
joke.
So
classes.
much crap in here.
I saw that when I was trying to quickly review for the
It took me
game
way
show.
too long to figure out the alphabetical was
The,
vertical. I was like, where the hell is
No,
Psychic?
that-
It goes Monk, Oracle, Summoner.
Honest to God, took me a second there too.
I was like, the alphabetical being vertical and threw me. Scott!
From next to.
Do you guys study? Go ahead.
Okay, sure. Do you guys study Pathfinder lore, or is it largely just retaining to lots of stuff that you have looked up over the years? It always amazes me how quick you can pull out world lore at the drop of a hat.
I've played Pathfinder for like 10 years. So
Yeah, one of the things I first found out about AJ, like the second time we hung out, was you were like, I know more about Pathfinder world than real world.
accurate.
It's like, wow, cool.
I'm pretty confident I have a more full understanding of like the political landscape of Galarian than Earth, which is probably not great. But for me, I don't really study it. I've just played it for like 8 to 10 years, and I've been GMing for most of that, and I have just run a bunch of campaigns. So you will notice the things I know a lot about are the things that are related to the campaigns that I've done. So I know a lot about Taldor. I know a lot about Cheliax and the Shackles. I know that Garund is a country that is there also. There
Nick
is
is a
an
walking
entire
encyclopedia.
continent called Tianjia, and I don't know what goes on over there, but it's probably cool. Like,
Cool name.
I know Ustalav pretty well. So it's really the things that I've done I know a lot more about, but it's just kind of exposure, because especially the adventure paths, the Paizo written things have a lot of world lore connections in them, because I mean they're obviously just literally as a business incentivized to connect their adventures to
Yes.
the world that their game takes place in a
Yeah.
lot, to get people interested, and that works. So
It
then I
works
learn a
really
lot of
well.
things. Because they tangentially connect to a lot of other stuff. There is basically like Malevolence. Malevolence is even an example.
Yeah.
There is no example. Malevolence takes place entirely in one house in the middle of nowhere. It's irrelevant where the house is. And we learn about Cheliax and House Thrune and their rulership, and Ustalav and the Sinkamakti school and the asylums that they run, and the freaking Dark Tapestry and all that crap. You learn about all these other connected areas that have nothing to do with the house that we're stuck in. That's a very small scope adventure. So then all the random connections in something like War for the Crown goes all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You learn about like 10 countries just running that adventure.
Everything I know about Pathfinder lore has been through through you, Arcadis, and Nick. All three of you have told me that, but also just any of the tangential stuff I've learned through Starfinder, because Starfinder it's all canon to Pathfinder. There's
Right,
just
it's
everyone
just way
kind of
later.
forgot what happened, and then they kept going on.
And no, there's not a Galarian anymore.
Yeah, no, there's New Galarian.
Who's he?
But the Starfinder lore is also easier to keep track of, both because it's a newer game and every adventure path is in chronological order. So it's just like you do this, and then
Pathfinder.
immediately after
It's
that, it is
Pathfinder.
It is
Yeah,
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder adventure paths. Oh, what is it? 4,200. You literally you add like 2,200 to the year that it released, and that's the in-game year that it takes place in.
Oh,
So they are perfectly chronological as well.
there's probably a Starfinder equivalent to that. They have an official, I don't know, I'm sure they have it for Pathfinder too, but on the Paizo website, they have a literal timeline. You can just scroll down and have every major historical event.
2,700. 'Cause I think it's like 4723.
It's cool.
And, like if you do Pathfinder Society stuff, because that's like their sanctioned, just like official play thing, there are literally constantly adventures coming out for that. So I think in the current arc, like that's live. Like I
Yeah.
think it's 4723. It's the equivalent of October in 4723 right now in Pathfinder Society play. So it just
Interesting.
it just keeps rolling
Oh, yeah.
forward. Which is why Strange Aeons has been weird, because I haven't decided if I wanted to run it as if it's happening in this time slot or in the time slot that it should be. And honestly, nothing's made me pick yet, so like, still ambivalent on the time period of Strange Aeons.
Strange Aeons does happen, and that's all we know. So, hang on. Watch this. Segue.
Sick.
Segue.
Smooth.
Thanks for giving me the heads up. You know I'm terrified of segues.
So you're so welcome. What?
Arcadis is actively making memes to put
What
on
on
the screen
earth?
while we're talking.
Incredible.
What?
This is a true asset.
When what do you guys think are your strengths as GMs? In how you run games and everything.
Mine's an easy segue here, because I
You
think
can say
especially
segue.
running a lot of adventure paths that have, and making everything like Galarian canonical, I have a pretty good amount of world knowledge, which when you have it really lets you do my second thing, which is modify it. It's how do I phrase this? A complaint I've seen from a lot of people about Pathfinder in general is that it's too rigid to mess with, which I do sort of understand, because I'm going to say skill issue, but nicer. It seems like that when you're unfamiliar with the game and the setting, but once you know Galarian decently well, and you know like the game's math and all the tables and everything they have, and like where to very quickly find numbers and references you need, you have the perfect toolbox to do whatever you want with the game.
It's an overwhelming start, but
It is a
yeah.
lot up front
Yeah.
when you're not familiar with Pathfinder, and you look at like how rigid all the numbers I was gonna say appear to be, but are. You can just say they are. It is pretty some degree of strictly linear.
Yeah.
But that makes it like easier though.
It gives you
There's a
structure.
table on the backside of the GM screen that's called the DC by level table that you can wing literally just anything homebrew with that one table. That alone tells you the general target that a character of X level should be able to hit for an average challenge. And then just stay there, and then go like plus or minus 5, depending on how hard you want it to be. Boom, you're running Pathfinder. That single table will take you so far.
Starfinder just added that in the enhanced version, and
He
I
was so
cheered.
excited.
I was like,
The
"Oh my
DC
god!
by
I don't
level
need to
table
do. I don't
is
need to do algebra to figure out the
amazing.
DC anymore."
The
It's
DC by
awesome.
level table is insanely good. It's ridiculous. Yeah, this right here. It's literally just look at that number. That's your baseline, and then higher. Like you can even use it for monsters in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Like that's their AC. There you go. That's the saving throw against their spells or their abilities. Just like modify it a bit. If they're like supposed to be kind of a harder sort of boss monster, to throw 2 or 3 on it. If it's trash fodder, they take 1 off. Like it's
Can you hit level 25?
monsters can. Dayhawk was 25.
Oh, gotcha.
Not for you.
Not for me. I didn't earn it. I'm not a monster.
They have the level 25 is 50, and the aspect of the Hawk's AC was 52 or 54. Like, that was screw you, tier 5 for sure.
I fear for the days that we get to that kind of.
Oh,
high
I'm making this
level in
campaign go to
Aeons.
20.
I
Ooh,
fear.
I'm
it's a
adding
1 to
some,
20. I didn't
And
realize
I
that.
fear.
It's not. I'm making it a 1 to 20.
Oh.
Because first edition campaigns were not 1 to 20. This I think ends at like 16. So I'm like
Oh,
I
it's so
can slot like
close.
4 more levels
Yeah, they
over the
put you on
course
the
of
cusp.
6 entire books and like 2 years of real life. I can slot 4 levels in here. We're going to 20, baby. This final boss is gonna be a big boy.
Big boy.
Big numbers.
What's your
We're gonna be
strength as a
crunchy.
What's your strength as a GM?
That's hard for. I don't know. I haven't been GMing for very long, so it's kind of hard for me to say. If I. Oh,
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, sorry.
No, after you.
If I had to say, and this is kind of ironic because then I ran Malevolence, which doesn't have a lot of NPCs, but I think that one of my strongest is just RP, like with Anatoly or with Ezra Mulkin.
I was gonna say Ezra Vulcan.
That was
Yeah,
Mulkin.
those are. I feel like that I have a clear strong point for if there's a character involved, or even like if when we did Nils or stuff, like describing him. That's the easiest thing to like. That is by far the thing that I spend the least time on.
You have a really good job, a really good handle on like steering the party even into things that don't seem like they would make sense up front, because it takes like a pretty impressive amount of control as a GM to get the entire party to stand the cheating woman.
Or to fear a piss ghost.
Oh my gosh! Thank you. I take great pride.
Ah,
There she is.
Ah!
Queen. How do you not love her
Oh my gosh!
with a feather like that? Boo.
Boo.
Poopy.
Get her off the screen.
Nasty. Get her off the. Yes.
Oh my gosh!
But no, your NPCs are
Strong.
definitely
Thank
fantastic.
you.
It-
I
it
appreciate
is
that.
a little bit sad that Malevolence has so little
I
of
know.
them that you get to do. Like
Well,
there's like
and-
3 in the whole book.
Well, like Ezra Mulkin, as written, it explicitly says that she will not go with you. And I was like, screw that. I need
all-
one.
we get a
I
bird.
need one person.
Yeah, Winter just leaves after book 1 to go back to doing whatever she's doing, and she's
I
just
hate
like, all
that.
right, bye. Like, I got stuff. to
Why
do.
I was
introduce
like, what is
these
she going to
cool
do in the
characters
kitchen?
and
Nothing.
then make them
She's
go
got
home?
nothing to do.
Make these cool characters do things.
They are weirdly allergic in adventure paths to NPCs being involved in multiple books. And I think that's some degree of a symptom of how the adventure paths are produced, because there is like a head writer, but each book is written by a different person.
Well,
So I don't know if it's just like protocol at Paizo to be like, write your damn NPCs out so the next guy doesn't have to deal with them.
it's also
but-
probably like it might be like to deter like GM PCs so that the GM isn't also just playing the game
That's
with
fair.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys have ever played a game with one. It's kind of not the most fun.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, Extinction
yeah.
Curse is obviously an exception because the entire campaign is predicated on a horde of NPCs that follow you for the entire adventure. So, like, that's different. Like, obviously, that's the whole point of Extinction Curse. That's your home base. And, like, there's exceptions, obviously. There's some in War for the Crown, too. You're hanging out with Eutropia's spy. I can't remember her name. Eutropia's
007.
spy girl. The one I get the French accent.
Solid Snake.
Yeah, Solid Snake.
Yeah.
She's just kind of hanging out. for most
That's
of the
her.
adventure.
Oh, man.
So okay, speaking of NPCs, what are some of your favorite
What are your
NPCs?
strengths?
What are your
Okay.
strengths?
Corey?
Fine. I think I am good at both. I think I'm getting better and better with character voices. I try to make every NPC, every major NPC at least, sound completely unique than the other one, in both ways I talk and how my voice physically sounds. As well as I think it's a strength that a lot of DMs and GMs in general are scared to give up, which is a lot of my notes, if you saw it, you'd see how little I have planned per session, because it's just kind of like, I have this here, I need them to get here, we'll kind of figure it out how to get there. And I have faith in my players, and I let them make their own fun. You know, half the fun of this stuff is like what
Do
they're building
whatever.
around with you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of my other strengths is I'm just like, yeah, man, we're gonna have a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 3-hour show, but we're gonna have a fun time. I've got a map we'll pull out at some point.
Corey is one of our best improvers, hands down, just for sure.
Thank you.
You just kind of have to do whatever approach to getting through places.
Yeah, like it's more fun when everyone is kind of building into it, and it's not just a train track. Not to say railroading specifically, but railroading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have run into the same problem that we have run into, that like we have the thumbnails as little teasers before the episodes, and we meet the guy in the thumbnail probably 40 to 60% of episodes on the UGT show. We'll actually get to the dude that's on the thumbnail.
Nobody talked to me about the basement thumbnails. I don't want to hear anything.
It's okay. I had the roach vultures on the thumbnail
Yeah.
last week, and we didn't
It
even
happens all the
begin to
time.
think about going to Old Chapel. And I was
Oh,
like, oh well,
God.
never mind. I'll
Yep.
just put the next one on there, and then we're probably fine. Like, surely we'll go this time.
Oh God.
I agree with Scott.
retcon Age of Ashes. I used to retcon the thumbnails. I'd be like, just kidding. Here's what the thumbnail is instead, and I'm just keeping that art for next week.
Nobody say anything.
There was
see it.
so little art for Malevolence. Every time I spent one, I was like, that's it. Like, I don't get that, but like, you better.
I need this.
Oh gosh.
I also agree with Scott's comment where he complimented Sully. I want that on record.
Aw, that's very
I
nice.
agree with Corey agreeing with Scott's comment.
Thank you.
Wow.
Let's go.
Oh, thanks, guys.
It's like a 3rd-degree compliment.
Oh, everybody's been very, very sweet and supportive. Because I did not really DM at all before
Malevolence
this.
is like the first thing she's DM'd.
Yeah.
Like, period. Not like at all.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a GM historically. Which that merits saying, because it's not obvious after watching Malevolence that you have not run anything before.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very, very. That's huge.
Like, it's wild that this is the first time you've done anything.
Well, I truly would have never ever asked to or fathomed running something unless you had told me I should do Malevolence, and then I was just like, oh, I gotta do it.
John UGT said so. All right, what's everyone's favorite NPC they've done?
Ezra Milken. I got one.
Yeah,
Actually,
you-
yeah.
you gotta book
Yeah,
up.
Ezra
really,
Milken.
to think
Anatoly is a shockingly close second. He wasn't an NPC, but then became one.
Oh, he's just like so sad.
Because I'm almost tempted to say I liked him so much. I'm almost tempted, but it's got to be Ezra Milken. I fell in love with her the second that I read the part of the book she was in. I was like, this is my girl.
This bird is mine.
I love her.
I do love the way you play Ezra Milken.
Ezra
a lot.
Milken is
She's very fun.
She's
She's
my
a funny
favorite.
bird lady.
Anytime she pops up, I'm like, yes, it's Ez time.
Mylan Jareth, I still think is my favorite one that I've done. Mylan Jareth was War for the Crown, so we're going back a
Okay.
couple of campaigns, and I don't know
feel
that
like
he
you've told me
had official art. Actually, I think I might have just grabbed the art for him out of something, but he was like just a recurring antagonist for the party throughout the 4th book of War for the Crown. It's a big political campaign. And the 4th book is when they're going into the city that's very much more controlled by the guys that they're against. So they're kind of infiltrating. And Mylan is a shapeshifter. So, just for context,
Oh.
the first time you meet this guy, he's a shapeshifter, and he's like the spy master of the main antagonist. So he is the foil to the lady they've been working with the entire campaign. They're working with the Taldor FBI, basically, called the Lion Blades. And their first goal is to get into the city of Zemar and go meet with their agent and get the situation. By the time they get to Zemar, Mylan has already captured, tortured, interrogated, and killed the agent. That guy's gone. So when they show up to the meeting place, they're meeting with Mylan Jareth immediately. It's the first NPC they meet in the
so
book,
cool.
and they think it's their contact
That's fun.
because
That's
they
so
don't even know this
funny.
guy exists.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to just clown on them for the entire book. Because
So
it just
good.
kept
Oh god.
happening. And like
Like every NPC at some point they'd rip a mask off and it'd be him.
they got to the end. The end of the book, they're at the top of the castle having this whole mechanic is called like a verbal duel, which is like combat with diplomacy against
Metal.
the enemy leader. That's him. Against the enemy
Oh.
leader. It was basically
so cool.
the daughter of the old emperor and the general of the army. It was the main antagonist. The general of the army, he's riding on his freaking griffin, and they're arguing at the top of the castle about who's right. And they get halfway through this argument, and he goes to say something, and then you hear his voice from the other side, and the actual general comes up on a griffin, and he's like, hold on, they've got a point. And the general they've been arguing with is Milo
Jarrett.
the entire time. Like, it's
That's
Oh my gosh,
so
that's
funny.
the
so
big
good.
climactic scene at the end. It's Milo and Jared. It's Milo and Jared all the way down, man.
That's the kind of stuff you would pull.
that absolutely
That's so up your alley.
110%.
I loved that dude. He would. Oh, and then that's an emote that someone
cute.
made for our Discord
That's so
server.
good.
Smog Mylon.
That's
I
so
loved
good.
But then added bonus, he was super tied into the party. He had killed one of their parents, like before the
Oh,
campaign
wow.
had even started.
So there's also intrigue with him.
So there's also like a very personal connection to him too. It was just like
Oh, that's super
Mylon
cool.
was great.
That's fun. I'm trying to think of all my NPCs. I should have thought about it while you guys were talking, but instead I was listening to my friends talk.
Rookie mistake.
You hate to see it.
I mean, I'm tempted to say Barthen just because I like playing big gross guys. So just be like,
You had a
"Oh,
Barthen too?
I had a what?
You had a Barthen too?
You didn't have.
We
You
had
had a Barthen.
We had a Barthen.
I didn't have a
He was
Barthen.
also a big gross dude. Everyone hated him.
You stole my bit.
He's from Quest of the Frozen Flame.
There's Barthen. That's him.
That's our Barthen.
He was the guy that would sit. If you haven't seen Secrets before,
R.I.P.
yeah, he did die, unfortunately.
Oh,
It's
if you
fine.
haven't seen
If you haven't seen Secrets, don't get attached. But he just sits in the chair. And he's the one
Well.
that gives them their missions, and he's just like, "What? How's it going, Clementine?" And he just sits there and smokes a cigar. And he's just a greasy dude.
I love that he literally has a cigar in his
Yep.
art. He cannot exist without it. It's a part
I
of him.
knew that you would say Barthen, but I can't believe. Like, I knew that was going to be your answer, but I can't believe that your answer isn't Joro. Or the smug guy with the cigar in the
Royce.
casino.
Royce is fun. I did think about Royce. I would say my top 3.
Yeah, that guy.
Royce is fun. He's just
We
he's just a
owned
pompous.
him.
I love Royce, and he's the
Does
most.
it look like he's trying to look at his own nose?
He,
Yeah.
imagine he's doing that and then thinks he's better than you. And then that's Royce's entire
Guy
character.
looks like a hamster got turned into a human.
We killed him with the power of improv.
But my other ties were Gizmo's parents. I just love doing
Oh, I love
big
this.
southern accent like that. And then
It's so cute.
and then the I forget my own antagonist's name. The guy who's your hire at the end.
I don't know his name.
I forgot my own character's name.
I'll find out.
It took me a
He
few
was-
seconds to get back to Milo and Jareth. That's why I didn't answer immediately. I was like, what was his
No.
name? What was his name? What was his name?
It is he's the guy they meet in the last 10 minutes, and he's gonna be their new broker
He was
after
great.
Barthen dies. And I liked playing him specifically because I kind of designed him to antagonize Clementine a bit, where anytime she would try to talk, he would shut her down. So you just immediately hate this guy, and then he shoots. Then his Astra gets shot in the chest twice.
Spoilers for secrets between the
You don't know
stars.
how they got there. Things happen. Which
Just
Joro
covered
was your
most of
favorite?
the last episode.
Which Joro was your favorite and why?
Backflip Joro. Backflip Joro. What's his name though?
Finbar.
Finbar.
Yeah, he was the one of the
He was
6
great.
non-Joros.
Me and Kevin both wanted to clone him. We got shut
Did
down.
you not realize any of the moral, ethical
Don't
issues
care.
that are happening in that clone
So we
facility?
stand
care.
Fulvia in this house. I don't think we're here for the moral and
Exactly.
ethical issues. Like,
If we could clone Fulvia, we would.
I have to speak my truth, which is that me and Kevin were dead set. Yes, thank you. There's Kevin.
clone Finbar.
I'm not letting you clone
summoned
Finbar.
Kevin into the chat.
He's growing carrots.
He wasn't
knows.
even in here.
Let the man
He
be a
was playing
farmer.
World of Warcraft when I left to come out here.
He heard my cry.
My favorite Joro is probably Joro Jr.'s great. I do love Joro
I
Jr. a lot.
forgot about
But first Joro.
Clone Finbar.
First Joro is very fun. Just because it's fun to kind of play like a man who's gone crazy. and just loves the equivalent of sci-fi football. Like that's his entire thing. Is he loves this disc game, which I think I called Disc Ring.
It is disc ring.
And then he's just like, I gotta make everyone me. Like it's like, sure, dude, I guess.
He's the guy solo queuing League of Legends who actually got so mad. He's like, I'm just gonna make an entire team of myself, and we're gonna be challengers.
Yeah, like it's. And then he went pro. Like, it's
And then
just
he was
that.
still hard stuck in Bronze 3.
First Doro is definitely he's probably my favorite Doro. Just I also like the whole scene where the room starts filling with gas and stuff. Which I don't think was in the book originally. I was just like, we kind of need like, it's just kind of a normal fight. What if we just start doing a deadly neurotoxin portal style? We just do that.
You know, why not? Why not drop some deadly neurotoxin?
Who is your favorite NPC in Strange Aeons
It's Strange Aeons.
that we've seen so far? I guess
Yeah,
because there's a lot. I'm sure that it's probably
you could probably
odds
guess.
wise
You
it could
could-
be in. Is it Bang Bang? If
I
not,
think
I love
and if
Bang
not,
Bang.
why?
It's my
And if
favorite
not, why
NPC.
isn't it Bang? I just didn't know. I gave you the right answer, not necessarily what I think your answer is.
I love Bang Bang.
Thank you.
Bang Bang rules. He got so pissed at Derp. It was funny.
If I were to do a real guess,
I think I'm split between two.
I would maybe get out of the people we've met. I would guess Reese.
Reese's one of them.
Okay.
Reese's my first thought. My first thought's
Let him
Reese.
clone Bang Bang.
My second
Bang
My
Bang.
second thought is Doppeldenman.
Oh,
I think
I
I'm
love
kind of between
Is that a clone?
Reese.
It's
It is
Lucas.
a clone. Yeah.
It
What
was
the
a
hell's
clone.
going on around here?
It was a
is,
clone, and I loved him.
It's between Reese and Doppelganger Denman, whose actual name I don't remember because I made it
It's
up on the
Lucas.
spot. It's I have it written down over
I
there,
loved
but I don't have it in my head.
Lucas. I
Um,
loved Lucas so much.
I
thought at the beginning
Lucas
of like,
ended up being
oh,
way more interesting than I
he
thought
was
it was
so
going to
cool.
Do you also give random NPCs just general dude names?
Yep.
Because I gave Barthen's assistant just named Susie because they were like, "What's her name?" And I was like,
Yeah, no, our-
Susie."
I
Our
will-
doppelganger monster guy, which is a shapeshifter who literally just like stole the skin of someone else, just pretending to be him, and the party's pretty weirdly chill with it.
He's cool.
I was just like, Lucas, I guess. Not in the book.
It's my
so
buddy
I'm just-
I
Donovan.
will die before I give somebody before I name one of if I'm playing a character in a campaign before I give it, like a
Kitchen
super
ladle.
fancy
The
name.
dwarf with the ladles coming out of Kevin and Dungeon
Oh
Speed.
my god,
I was hitting on Trey.
that was a good one. I loved. There's not been a single session of Strange Aeons in season 2 where I haven't thought at the beginning, I want to go find Lucas and talk to him again. But it's not really like
He's
what we're
there. I
doing.
mean, part of why it's ambiguous in the book and unclear what happens with everybody in the asylum. It's just they go to the Handwavium town. So I explicitly put them in New Chapel so that they're there. Like if there was anything you wanted to follow up on, I wasn't gonna be like, we're gonna have another episode talking to these people for some reason, but they're there. Literally, they live
Yep.
across the street from you. If you want to talk to them, because I did really like Doppeldenman. I thought that ended up being really interesting. That was probably the most interesting woe we've been hit with that led to Doppeldenman
Yeah.
and Lucas. But Reese has gotten great.
I love Reese.
Reese has gotten super great. Kevin leans into it so hard,
Yes.
and it makes it really good.
That scene you had in the 2 episodes ago with Kevin with them was great.
Yes, I love Reese.
Someone Sayin Fox asked, so favorite death in campaign, either NPC, enemy, or PC?
Guess I'm Mylan Jareth again.
Absolutely can.
He's spamming
It's
Mylan
tragic.
Jareth.
My entire hand is just Mylan Jareth's, man. That's all I got. That's the
Oh.
first thing that immediately comes to mind for me is Mylan Jareth again.
Favorite death. That's so hard. I haven't seen a lot of deaths in like just ttrpg, like just.
It doesn't have to be
as I've been
player.
playing.
It doesn't have to be a player
NPC,
death.
enemy, or
Yeah, it
PC.
can be like an enemy. It can be
okay,
NPC.
enemy wakes it up a bit.
My first 2 reactions were he didn't die, but Royce, the way he gets knocked out, I love a lot, which is he's in a helicopter, it explodes, and then he falls in a train and Looney Tunes style rolls into a locker.
Out of all the campaigns you've run, which one was your favorite one? That was directed specifically at me, but I mean, you have literally one answer.
Malevolence.
I have one in a one-shot that was in the same
Doesn't have to
universe.
be UGT. Haven't you run a bunch of stuff before?
I've run
this?
stuff
you
before,
can tell
yeah.
us like life stories. It doesn't have to be.
That's
just
fair.
You maybe pick my favorite son. All right, fair enough. There's man.
Is it me, father?
Says Strange Aeons.
Which of your friends is your favorite? What's my favorite like all around campaign? So in the interest of fairness, I'm gonna limit this to completed campaigns. So Strange Aeons.
It's not me.
Campaigns that I've done all the way through that are a full and complete story, and I think. My whole hand's Mileage Jarrett's, man.
If you look down, it's Mileage Jarrett all the way down.
Because I feel like I gotta go with my gut instinct. I could like be diplomatic and dance around it, but like just as a direct answer to the question, my heart says War for the Crown. Just because
it's a cool
I
concept.
think that was, I really like the very personal, heavy political kind of adventures. There's still a lot of combat and slaying insane monster stuff. It's still Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And it still gets insane by the end. But the story that Paizo gave with that is phenomenal. I think it's one of their best written adventures. It's like that and Strange Aeons are the two that I've run that are easily the best written ones. And I think it hit at the point where I was really starting to figure out how to GM well. Both for a show and just for the experience of everybody. Because I really loved the first Strange Aeons adventure, but I definitely was a way weaker GM when I ran that. It was part of why I wanted to do it again. Because the campaign is so good, and I like dropped thousands of balls during that campaign because it was like the second adventure I'd ever run.
Yeah.
And I knew enough by War for the Crown to make it feel really good. Age of Ashes, really great campaign. We had a great party, great story. I think the campaign itself is definitely weaker. Like the campaign Age of Ashes is definitely weaker than the campaign War for the Crown. So it's not like the book. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the actual written material is a lot weaker to work with. It's still good. I liked it, but it's a little all over the place. We were all kind of scrambling to learn second edition. We had like a lot of rolling party shifts through it. I think War for the Crown just came together really well, start to finish, and I think it's probably the all-around best one. What you got, Corey?
My favorite is, I mean, I love Secrets a lot, but I did a home game a while ago. I'm not counting finished ones because I don't think I'd have anything then. So I had done a D&D Western. Gary said in the chat, so tell me about your Western campaign, Corey. This is it. It is, I had made a world. Hang on.
Favorite PC for any game you've run. All right, pick your favorite friend, round 2.
Favorite PC.
Is it me, father? Is it me? I want both of yours. I'm waiting.
Who do you like better, Jumbles or Talus? Jumbles or Talus?
Say it right now.
Jumbles or Talus?
I go last.
One of them has a gun.
I have to think. It's very hard for me.
Scott, South Dakota, Zerg from Extinction Curse. Zerg was pretty good.
From Toy Story?
That's what they U.
Oh, okay, my bad.
This is Zerg like the StarCraft race.
Oh, okay.
It was just a big orc man. He was very strong. And then very sad after his best friend died at the end of book 1 and never really bounced back from that. Favorite PC? I gotta separate this from the people playing them. I just gotta think.
Yeah, I'm thinking characters.
Character.
That's really hard.
I gotta think a lot.
Because here's the issue, right? Because with Secrets is we had 6 episodes, and I know exactly where I want everything to go by the end of it. So we're like, I can't say too much because I haven't told you anything's happening later, right? So I'm gonna count my home game here, and my friend Alex had a character in that Western one, which was he was playing, I forget what it was. I think it was a Broken Oath Paladin gunslinger, and he just played this guy where I got to play the actual devil that would just come up and talk to him every now and then and just make fun of him. So it was very fun just to be like, wow, nice shot, asshole. And like I kick his knee in. Like there was stuff like that. But also his character himself was very unique, and because he had written him, and about halfway through the game he was like, I'm not super feeling this character, so I kind of want to like kill him off at the end. And then at the end, I had actual Lucifer come down and like make fun of him a bit and be like, "Yeah, so I'm gonna probably kill your family and stuff." And then he texted me afterwards. He's like, "Hey, I want to keep playing my character now." He's like, it was full
Dang.
up,
It's cool again
saved
now.
it. It's super cool. So that's probably my favorite PC.
Man, I've had so
Been a lot.
many parties with just like so many ridiculously good PCs. I'm going back through like Baylor's and Roshins. I'm going all the way back to like Armstrong from Dragon's Demand. We had a guy play a bard. This one's worth it just for funny value. We had a guy play a bard whose performance was making puns that were so terrible that the party fought harder so the combat would end faster so he'd shut up. That was his inspired courage. Like,
That's really funny.
and it was terrible.
That sounds like Marcus in real life.
He had terrible puns. He had terrible puns on deck, just like Kevin's got the limericks. Like
Yeah.
it was
Oh, that's
super
so
funny.
good.
But I've had I don't know, man. There's so many good characters.
Is it True Sheik? That's the one I've heard about the most, I think.
Like Age of Ashes alone had so many that were huge.
Top 5. How about that? Is that easier?
I don't know.
In no specific order, top 5.
Let's see, Amadeus, Jumbo, Talus, and Cass. I'm done.
Man, I don't even. The standout, like the big standout comes to mind. I think you're always going to be the ones that were really tied into the story.
Yeah.
Or just leaned super duper hard. Like they were a very strong character that was very different from the person that was playing them. So, or the opposite, because we got like I was gonna say like Roshin and Baylor, but Manchaw's Baylor is literally just Manchaw's self-insert. Like it's just him if he was an actual wizard. Like, I don't know, man. There's been so many. I had too many good characters.
I have
A
an
lot of
answer.
campaigns.
You keep thinking.
Okay.
I have an answer,
Who's
and
your
it's
favorite
from
friend?
it's from my unfinished campaign that I tried to start this was on Dungeons
Wow.
and Dragons. I had only just learned how to play the game. Thought, I get it, I could DM. That wasn't true. But like just learned. Had just like maybe played like a dozen sessions. So that campaign ended up just slowly dying, but my cousin made a character for that campaign whose name was Keelon Unicorn Pants. And it is, to this day, one of the best characters that I have seen. He was a lizard folk. And none of what he was role-playing was canon to D&D lore. He had made up this entire rich culture that he was just consistently improving more information about with every single session.
That's funny.
Like he would express things with his tail, and they would see a bug on the ground. He's just like, "Oh no, that's a delicacy in my country."
That's where canon comes from.
Oh my gosh, the stuff he would come up with. There was not a single session where there wasn't new lore dropped about this character. None of it was true. None of it was 100% just manufactured by him. It was excellent.
Okay, I have an atypical answer. So, when I lived in Utah, and this is long before I started streaming Pathfinder, when I was just playing it with the friends that I met at the game store via the bulletin board we discussed earlier, full circle.
Wow.
I started running a game for them. We were playing a little bit of a homebrew game that one of my friends down there, Logan, was running. And then they floated the idea he wanted to play, and the homebrew, he wasn't really sure where to go with the homebrew. So he's just like, screw it, here's the last boss fight. And then
Nice.
we're like, it was just like friend group playing. So we handed it off to me, and I said, well, I haven't run a lot. Actually, I had been streaming at the time, because this was while I was streaming Skull and Shackles. And I said, I know Skull and Shackles. Because I've run that one. We want to be pirates. You guys want to do pirate stuff? So I was running 2 Skull and Shackles games simultaneously. One that was like 2 books ahead online, and one that was in person. Shop here. And this was the first campaign I'd ever run, was this pirate adventure. And so Logan had been playing Pathfinder and tabletop for way, way longer than me. So he brought in literally just a fighter with a longsword. Just a regular, dude.
Just a guy.
Just a guy. And I learned a lot about Pathfinder from running a game for him. That was, I think, by far the most like I learned the rules and how things could be handled and like strategies and how to do things, was trying to deal with his ass. So, example. There's a boss in the second book. It's a wizard lady that just kind of shows up at your little pirate fort island, goes nuts, and you fight her. She just throws lightning and stuff, wizard things. I ran this on stream. It killed a player character, almost TPK'd. It ended up with one person surviving who literally just like slow falled off the top of their castle and just bailed into the ocean just to escape.
Wow.
Jeez.
I ran this at the table, and Logan put baby in the corner for 10 minutes, and then she died. She did nothing.
Oh my god.
And I mean, she literally did nothing. Because I was new to Pathfinder, and he was not. And I had a wizard. I have a wizard. Sorcerer, whatever. She wants to do magic. So she shows up and does her thing. Turn 1, cool, some damage. Then he walks up to her and says, "I ready to attack the hitter when she casts." I'm like, okay.
Weird.
Huh. Hold on. I need a minute.
Yeah.
So it was like relatively basic stuff, but it was like that for 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
And that's how I got good at Pathfinder. That fighter whose name I could never tell you because his character was Logan. Really, honestly gave me so much insight into what you could do with the game.
Yeah.
And like all the stuff that the rules could do.
Playing with
It helped
people
a
who
lot.
like know the
They
game
know the game
inside
way
out.
better than
Yeah.
you.
Way helpful.
It's super helpful.
Next to fast, let's keep the favorites question rolling as well with what is your favorite character that you have played as a player?
Oh. Favorite character that you've
I've
played
played
as
like
a
3
character.
player characters,
Yes.
so I'm gonna go with Chad.
You should play a guy named Chad.
Yep.
Yep.
So Nick was running a Halloween one shot, and I had
Oh.
a great idea to run the paladin named Chad. And Chad was just a great dude, super respectful, really helpful, just wanted to help out. Man, he's a paladin, he's a good dude, lawful good, just here to make the day better, save people's lives, clear the path, you know?
AJ's
bringing
been
that vibe.
possessed. What's going on? We lost him.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And it was the point where we learned, that was also where we learned about setting expectations for an adventure. Because he apparently wanted it to actually be like a really spooky kind of Bloodborne Lovecraft campaign, and we didn't do that. Like, we made a very Scooby-Doo party.
To piggyback off that for my favorite character,
I kind of felt bad.
my favorite character I played was similar where my friend with an online game was like, "Hey, do you want to join my friend's online game?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I messaged the DM and I'm like, "Hey man, what's up?" And he's like, "Yeah, just let me know what character you want." So I was like, "Cool. I've never played a bard before, so I'll do a silver tongue bard." And I was like, "I'll base him because he's got to talk. I'll base him off of JFK."
I was Chadsworth, right?
The deep chin.
That's Chadsworth right there.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, cool, I'll just make him off of JFK and make him an actual politician in the world that wants to be president. And then like the day before we played the game, my friend's like, "Hey, do you know this is a horror campaign, right?" It's like, nobody told me. So he said make a character. And I was like, okay. So while everyone's in this like grim,
the
dark
first thing that came to your head.
JFK. So it's like everyone's in this grim, dark,
Getting
like
assassinated is horror.
everyone's just like all feeling sick and bad and are angry at each other. And I'm like, what's up, fellas? And anytime I would do a bardic inspiration, I would just Google the Library of Congress JFK speeches. And I would just go down and I'm like, "Gentlemen, I believe we can make it to the moon." And they're like, "I thought the moon was a god."
What are you talking about?
And there was specifically a scene where it was this is again, I'd never met any of these guys before in my life. And my friend who was supposed to play got sick and couldn't play. So I was just like, you know what, we ball. It's like-
Literally a full group of people you have never met before.
and I was like, "What's up, fellas?" And there is a scene. I just watched Clone High, so like I don't know when you guys do voices. I sometimes have a phrase I need to get back, like to get.
Oh
back,
yeah,
so
for
that
sure.
I would specifically go, "Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys." That's how I would get the voice back. And there is a scene where we fight a bunch of goblins or whatever in a forest, and one dies. The DM is narrating like, as he's bleeding out, he looks up, he sees the stars, and he sees the moon, and he reaches out, and I just went, "Hey, that's mine!" I kill him, and he's like, "You know what? We'll end it there."
Oh my gosh.
So that's the best PC I ever played, which is just me doing a
Oh,
very bad
jeez.
JFK impersonation for roughly 2.5 hours.
Oh my god.
You reminisces fondly about the one time you ruined a guy's Halloween
Yeah,
one-shot.
right. I broke
I
his
am
heart.
actively great friends with all of them. They were so cool with
It's okay.
it.
That was also what mine was. So,
No.
did she ruin anyone's Halloween one-shot?
I don't know. You tell me, AJ. I play a cruddy little gnome on your horror campaign.
Hey, Cammy is great.
I love Cammy.
We love Cammy.
She's very near. Oh, it's hard to say. Honestly, it's a really big toss-up for me between 100% honestly between Cammy and Chip actually for my favorite.
We have to fist fight in the
Who's
back.
Who's your
now.
favorite friend?
Say it!
If I were to settle on like favorite character that I've ever played, it might have to be Cammy, honestly.
Ha! You suck!
Well, I've played Cammy more, so
I have
maybe
to
if
die
I have
now.
to play Chip again. Oh
Hey, I
my
rolled a
gosh.
4.
I truly listen. That is
Basically, to keep the fun times rolling even more, favorite PC moments / campaign scenes.
Oh gosh, that's so broad.
Okay, I gotta go now. We gotta go out of spoiler territory, so I'm not gonna use extremely recent because my immediate reaction was extremely recent. Back to Mylon Jared, everybody!
There he is! Look at his
I was
hand!
probably there. I want to know.
I was gonna say the Easy and Reese scene from like 2 sessions ago. I thought was
yes.
was really good. I like that one. That
Oh,
and
that
the
was
very
so
first one. I really liked both of those a lot.
Yes.
Cammy's friend. There's been a bunch. We've had a lot of really good ones in Book 2 of Strange Aeons.
Man.
But I'm
was
going
a
back
good
further than that. Slavery's canceled from Roshin. Became the
Slavery's
battle cry
you've
Slavery
told
for
me
all
about
of
this.
Age of Ashes. Well, slavery's canceled. She starts stabbing people.
You heard it here first. Oh my gosh.
And it became that became the battle cry for the heroes of Breach Hill for the whole back half of the campaign.
Slavery
But-
is canceled.
In a serious moment, there was I'd go either Inori and Mylon Jareth at the end of Strange Aeons, or Roshin's final conflict with her mom in Age of Ashes. Were both really heavy. I think they went extremely well. The Age of Ashes Cliff Notes, Roshin was a changeling. So that's a half hag. So her mom's a hag. The thing about being a changeling is that you are going to become a hag eventually.
Fun.
That's pretty much impossible to resist. And Roshin's mom was a blood hag, which is a really powerful one. And you kind of always have that voice in the back of your head, that calling to go to the coven. It's almost like the Sith, go replace your mother in the coven thing at some
Oh,
point.
that's so cool.
Actually peeling her flesh off her.
But Roshin's mom wanted to replace the rest of her coven with Roshin. And she basically murdered one of her coven members to pull Roshin in. And this happened during the final boss fight of the 4th book.
Oh.
So the party is getting murdered by a giant lava dragon in a cave. And Roshin is basically watching it through an extra planar window, fighting with her mom, who is
That's cool.
at
Oh,
that
that's
point
really cool.
grossly more powerful than her. So she couldn't really do anything. And I thought that went really well.
That's really
That's
cool.
super cool.
Mm.
Inori which is the War for the Crown character that Milo and Jareth killed her dad, eventually finds Milo and Jareth at the end of the adventure, who, having failed at his role, still alive, is in penalty prison for people who are immortal, basically forever. Just being the bitch of the big bad evil guys group, more or less. And they had this talk. He's like, well, I can't do anything now. If you want to kill me, kill me. But I want to stop these guys as bad as you do at this point. And
That's cool.
you've seen what I can do.
Yeah.
And so Shemu, my friend who's playing Nori, just absolutely spectacular job with his player character. He commissioned that art for it. It was so...
Man,
he got
so
so
good
into that
art.
character.
Cool.
He steps up, like, we're going to have this moment. It's going to be the full circle. Milo and Jared's going to join the team. This is going to, like, the pivot that no one expected. And it was the pivot that no one expected, because he stepped up and just stabbed him in the neck and killed him. Just right there, just cold blood.
Dang.
Nice.
Just murdered him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Powerful.
Frantically
really
flipping
cool.
through my notes, like, I didn't think this was going to happen like this. Okay. Hold on.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was powerful though. I thought he was like, nope, can't forgive it. Dead.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
I think for me, I have a couple moments in From Secrets where there's not much I can say without spoiling it. So spoilers for Secrets if you haven't seen it yet. I recommend it. It's good.
I figure if it's more than like, if it's like, I guess you're not quite a year old yet. I'm talking about stuff it's like at least a year ago,
Yeah.
over a year ago.
This
so
is
it's
like-
probably
The
fine.
season is complete.
Yeah.
This
So.
is 2 months short of a year, so it's about a year old. So
You're safe. The season's over, yeah.
the flashback with Valia where she
You got a
is
Valia too? I knew that one.
that one wasn't me.
No.
With Valia where she's at the amusement park and the black hole
I was honestly
opens.
gonna say that. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm
really?
not gonna lie. I loved that whole.
Yeah,
thing.
I think that worked super well. I think Marcus played it super well as well. Where it is a flashback of Valia when she worked with a large gang was meeting with space pirates, and there was an active gang war between the two of them. So they were meeting at a place like a neutral ground to try to find peace. And Valia and pirates were like gang members and pirates were all over the planet, essentially, just making sure that nothing could go wrong. And there's a figure shows up, causes havoc for Valia for a moment, and then goes into the building where the peace talks are happening, and a black hole just rips open and rips apart the planet, and is like a chase sequence essentially of Valia escaping a black hole. And I think it worked super well. I think Marcus did a great job of responding with everything and keeping the tension high as well.
The best part was the countdown aspect of it. 'Cause
Yeah, I was glad that landed because I was very stressed. Where I was
it'd
basically
be like every scene. Yeah.
after every scene, I would be like, "This is 10 minutes before the fall of Calistar," and then something would happen. I'd be like, "This is 7 minutes before the fall of Calistar," and they were on the planet Calistar. And then the other favorite scene was in the last episode where Aster and Astra reconnected for the first time face to face. I think Gary did a great job playing that, and with the tensions being high of the starship battle being lost and all hope seeming lost, Astra coming in and giving an emotional moment. Also, I really love the scene at the end where Astra's magic is in the engine and Aster goes in and like can feel the magic in there. I really like that scene a lot.
Oh man, I said this last week, but I really, really love the scene between Talus and Jumbles, like explaining death, like
Both
the
their
concept
favorite
of.
friends.
We did it. Look how we've grown.
I loved that scene. There was just something very real and wholesome about it. It's just that one nearly made me cry. Like sitting in the GM chair, I was like, "Yeah, hold it together," because there was just something so sweet about it. Because it was very heavy, but it still had so much lightness to it, where it was just, I don't know, like some hope at the end of the tunnel. It's exactly what I like. The dream was for the campaign to be, was this sort of healing moment.
Yeah. It's hard to explain death to an 8-year-old. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Oh,
That's
really?
what Talos has no idea what he's doing. He's like, so.
But you
Listen.
appeared to, so
Like,
that's all that
Ah.
matters. And that's half of GMing. So you don't know what's
You
going
just
on,
make
but
stuff up confidently.
and you go,
Good
yeah.
to go.
Oh,
I
man.
screw up stuff constantly. I look at my notes. I was like, crap.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
But, that wasn't supposed to happen. And I'm just watching you guys walk in a literal circle around the room that has all the stuff in it. I'm like, should I just move it? Like, should
It's gonna be in this room now,
I
right?
just say it's in there? But what if they go back later? Do
Maybe
you
I'm
think
the
they'll go
problem.
back? They're gonna
Maybe
look,
it's-
right? Like
They have to find it.
They never
they're gonna-
look.
there's no way they'll no,
They
they're
never
They
look.
left. Okay, dang it. All right, hold on.
Something's different. That was the entire Starfinder one shot. I was like being as close as obvious. I'm like, you guys have to be very sneaky through this. And then the moment they get in the first room, Taylor's character, who's just this very calm mushroom man, grabs a chair and hucks it through a window. And I'm like, well, sirens are up, dude. We're in red alert time now.
I could not have been more clear.
I don't know what else you wanted, but it's cool. Welcome to a lot of fighting now.
Oh my god.
Dungeon speedrun best/worst screw ups.
Screw ups in which sense?
I had like mistakes you've made. Yeah, when you're like, that wasn't supposed to be how that
Oh, that's
worked.
90% of Starfinder, baby. I never ran it before that campaign. I'm very well
That's
aware of it now,
really
but
hard.
I know there was something in Strange Aeons Book 1. I'm trying to remember what it was. There was something in Book 1 Strange Aeons that I looked at my notes either on break or after the session. I was like, oh no. So, like,
Oh,
I
gosh.
screwed up a story thread somewhere, like real bad. And I was trying to figure out what the hell to do with it, but I can't remember what it was. I'm thinking, what was it?
Hopefully
What did
you
I
solved
do?
it.
What did I do? Where was it in Book 1? I'm thinking, you guys go.
Oh no.
I'm trying to think of my own
I'm trying
screw
to
ups.
think of screw ups that I remember. I try and repress them.
I
After they happen,
have,
I'm like, no.
I have one big one from Starfinder, but it was in the train episode where it was with Royce and everyone. I set the DC like way too high.
Oh,
So it was like that thing should have gone around a couple times, and then we did a full combat after that. But it was like, no, we were in which is fine. The episode turned out great, but like the DC for the Royce interaction should have been way lower than it was, and that was with me trying to adjust it for levels and everything. But like I said, it still turned out great. Everybody, shut up.
Directly at AJ. If we continue answering people, do you ever want people to watch your old campaign of Strange Aeons? I think if you want to. I think it is not. I mean, it's a show that has aged a lot. It's a way older setup. The only face cam is me. It's just literally a screen capture of a browser window of Roll20 and a
Nice.
bunch of people in Discord talking. But that said, it is a completely different campaign than the one that we're running right now. It's following like a similar main story thread, but it is a very, very different adventure. If you want to, I don't think it's going to be super watchable in the modern age because it's just so damn old. It's not great, but it doesn't hold up very well, honestly. Kind of why we're doing it again. You could though. It's on the YouTube channel, and not on the UGT YouTube channel. It's on my personal YouTube channel.
about to
It's
say.
so old.
Yeah.
It's just on mine. We could
Before
export
our
all of my
time.
old terrible Pathfinder campaigns back over.
Gosh.
to
What
the
if we just
UGT
fill all of
channel.
our subscribers' subscription boxes with like
garbage?
6-year-old videos?
We're looking at like 9-year-old
Oh, 9-year-old.
videos on Strange Aeons.
Almost a
Oh,
decade
man.
ago.
It's-
Remember
probably-
2014 is
somewhere in the
back.
middle, probably. Anyway, I had an answer to my question.
Do
I
you?
don't think this is what the previous one,
Yes.
because that was a brief one. The screw up. Book 1, Strange Aeons. I made you guys way too afraid of going outside. Immediately.
Oh yeah, I was afraid.
Oh yeah,
I
you
wasn't
did. You
going
messed
out
up.
there for
because
nothing.
because you guys would not. go outside or engage with anything that was outside.
Don't touch it.
And that doesn't mean
Agoraphobia.
just like trying to walk out the front door, because I think like kind of a big Kevin says the rain was boiling.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't go
was
outside
literally-
either.
No, wait for the rain to stop.
You described a flesh monster melting away in the rain. I was like, never again.
But like,
Yeah, I'm not going out there. It's spicy.
But it's like I guess my cover for it was just having, I think it was Winter or York, just straight up tell you that people had tried to leave and it didn't work. Because that's definitely supposed to be, and probably would hit a lot harder, something that you try yourself. That you get to the front door of the asylum.
I see.
Because when you get around to the front door in the lobby after you get past the giant eyeball thing, that's your first opportunity to even try to leave. Because there's no exits in the maintenance wing. You can't get out.
Yeah.
You're trapped. And then you get past that door and you immediately have just the front door of the asylum. And it's kind of supposed to be a big thing that you're like, well, screw this. Like,
Yeah.
And
I think
discover
we made it 10 feet
that it doesn't
outside.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, and I couldn't.
Then you said there were shapes in the shadows, and we were like, no.
Yeah, I literally
No,
was
absolutely
just like,
not.
There's some spooky stuff moving around the mist.
We were like, get out,
"We're going
get
back
out,
inside."
get out, get out.
You made the plot to the mist, and you're surprised they didn't go outside?
There's spooky stuff inside. They fight monsters constantly.
But the air don't hurt inside.
Feel better.
But it is,
That's true. We know so fast.
you guys
out of there.
immediately were like, "What a night!" It was like Simpsons gif of the grandpa with the hat
Grandpa
on,
walking
picking it
in.
back up and going right. It was that, but backwards. You walked outside, the little loop went right back in the door, and it would refuse to go outside ever again. Which meant that they wouldn't go out from the birdcage room to go into inpatient. They wouldn't go into the courtyards. They wouldn't go into anything that was remotely outside because they were way too scared of the area outside Briarstone.
It was scary.
That's how I feel in Malevolence, too. It's
You
like,
guys interacted with a total of 6. The northern courtyard outside the cult camp is huge and has a ton of stuff in it. And you guys went all the way around the outside of it through the rooms and then hugged the wall for 15 feet, took the first opportunity to immediately go back inside.
The rain boils.
you literally gave them agoraphobia.
This isn't a question. But
Okay.
I should say, I literally got into Pathfinder, found your Twitch channel because of your old Strange Aeons campaign.
Aww.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not fun to watch. I had a great time running it. Those old campaigns I have on my YouTube channel are still neat. I just think we're producing a lot of UGT content right now.
Yeah.
It is a lot better than the old ones. But I'm glad you liked it, Sam Fox. I'm glad you liked it. I did have a lot of fun doing it. There's a reason I'm running it again. It's because I really liked the adventure. Enough the first time to just do it again. We saw a horse thing. It was a spooky horse thing. In the big
Yes.
courtyard.
There was a giant. It was like an amalgamation
What do you think it was?
of flesh and eyes and teeth, and you
What?
described it as big as a horse.
Oh, I think he's
Yes.
talking about you saw like a horse when you were meeting the ghouls for the first time in the North Courtyard. You saw like a horse in the fringes of the mist. A thing
Oh,
that
I
looked
thought it
like
was the same
horse-shaped.
horse-shaped thing.
It was. I mean, it looked like a horse. It wasn't like you couldn't
Thought it
really
was
see.
same shape, in the shape of a
Yeah,
horse. So horse shape.
I'm
I
on
was
their
like,
side,
I've seen
man.
a horse.
I wasn't
shape.
even there, and I'm
We
on their
melted
side.
it, but now there's another horse shape. Maybe it's his lover.
What? The first thing was not horse shaped. It was a blob.
You said it was the size of a horse.
It was his
Am I
lover.
crazy?
It was
She just
large.
said that.
It was big, but it was just like a blob. This was like you saw a horse. That was the first thing.
There was one.
I don't think you're remembering. It was
No, there was
very
one that
brief.
was like posted up against the
I should have made Jorah
the
look like that.
barricade, and we removed it for them and put it out into the rain, and it melted in the boiling rain.
Yep.
And that was
Can't imagine
was
why you
that
guys
not
were afraid to go
described as
outside.
horse-sized
I mean, it
or
might have been
horse-shaped?
horse-sized. It definitely wasn't horse-shaped.
It's
But
a horse.
I literally don't think you remember what Colby's talking about because it was so brief. Because it was, I think Marius was seeking at the time, and he saw like a horse.
The thing we put in the boiling rain.
Shaped.
I'm talking horse-shaped.
No, he's talking about. He's saying you're talking about a different thing. I think he's agreeing with me.
Is that enough with the comments? Who are you agreeing
Whose
with?
side are you on? He's talking.
Colby,
He said the
Colby,
northern courtyard with the ghouls.
Colby.
He said the northern
No!
courtyard with the
AJ.
ghouls.
Fine.
Colby, when did you start hating women?
Marius, very briefly, saw what looked like a horse moving through the mist, but all you could make out was the shape. And
Right.
You
I
guys were just
appreciate
like,
that.
you guys were just like, nope, and just went inside because there's a scary horse.
Was it the first thing they saw when they opened their eyes, the Tatterman?
No, they saw that
That
before
was
they
before
opened their
we
eyes.
opened our
Okay.
eyes.
The first thing I saw when they opened their eyes was a nurse murdering somebody on
Okay.
the table.
Yeah.
So see, if I saw all of that and then I went outside and there was a horse shape, not confirmed horse, there's a horse shape in the clouds.
It's a unicorn.
I'm not
okay?
going out
It's
there.
literally a unicorn.
What?
There was a unicorn in the North Courtyard.
We didn't meet him.
No! Because you ran!
You said the rain boiled.
It was a literal unicorn.
The rain
You're getting
was
defensive
boiling.
over this, starting with you saying that was your mistake.
I
sir.
genuinely thought that if we stepped out into the rain, it would be immediate damage and like your skin
It's-
starts
you
melting
take, like,
off.
1d4
I believe
every
that
minute.
for a fact. So so yeah.
I was conflicted on the unicorn haunt anyway, so I was kind of okay with it not happening.
What
'cause
happens
it's,
with the unicorn haunt?
so it's like,
Is it not a unicorn?
it's kind of a unicorn. Like, it is a unicorn.
You dodged a bullet.
It is a
You're
unicorn.
so right.
It's
You
like,
shouldn't have been out there.
it is a unicorn. There's a guy in the courtyard who is dead in the south end who just got beat to death by cultists and just left there and like died screaming in agony. No story, it became a haunt.
Happened to my
Just
buddy Eric.
Dime a dozen in Briarstone Asylum at this point. And he was a bit of a simple guy. He was in the asylum. He's not a big thinker.
Mhm.
He has difficulty with the putting two to two together
Sure.
kind of thing. He was a bit of a free spirit. Maybe more of a fan of
What's that?
My entire
Really?
shoulder just exploded.
he is a
wow.
crayon enjoyer
Okay.
in like every possible
Who is it
definition.
these days?
But
What does
so when
okay.
he died, when he got beaten to death, you have these manifested dreams, right? So you have the corrupted eyeball thing. It's like the "What happened to me" terror. You have the lady who was scared her heart was going to explode. All these haunts are the manifestations of these people's like inner. It's not even necessarily fears, but like their dreams or nightmares in a lot of cases. So this guy, he's just pure. He was a pure little soul, and he liked unicorns a lot. So his dream manifestation in the courtyard is literally just a unicorn that wanders around the courtyard, and it's just
This is the most depressing haunt.
it's honestly
It's-
really depressing. And
Yeah.
it's just this. It's a literally just a unicorn, and it just walks around unless you go down to this little like nook in the south end where his body is, and then it gets real defensive if you start getting close to his body.
Mm-mm.
And you either have to like calm it or fight it to get into that little nook where his corpse is. And literally all you have to do to dispel this haunt is just bury him. Like he's just
This is very sad.
it is pretty depressing.
Yeah.
But
And you missed it.
whole ass unicorn.
Speaking of haunts and strange aeons, what was the dream when Bob Ross was serving soup
What?
with the ladle? No.
Oh, that was
I thought that
was,
we had to put the ladle in the thing. I thought so hard that we had to put the ladle in the thing.
I mean, yeah, that was a preview of the haunt way near the end that was in the kitchen.
yes.
That was the haunted pot. I'm gonna level with you. I don't remember how you dispel that haunt. I don't really think it's super
It's not
viable.
putting the ladle in the pot
No,
because I
it's-
tried that.
I don't remember what exactly you have to do for that one. Because I figured it was a weird one. That's like it's definitely a hard to solve, and it's mostly just kind of a go around it.
Mhm.
I think you have to bring food to him, is what it was, or like
Not a ladle.
I think you were with the
Not a
soup-
ladle.
the-
There's a
the
ladle
thing
full
that-
of food.
The thing that he was is he was the cook, and he was always super nice to everybody, and the cult beat him to death anyway, just because he didn't join them. So then his
Dang.
like angry spirit, it's literally just like be nice to him. So I would have taken for that one. Honestly, I would have taken pretty much anything from like literally just thanking him to like just not just walking up to the thing, taking some soup. And you're happy about it, like thank you for the soup. You are a good cook. I appreciate you. Here's a book. Thank you. Arcade.
Oh, wow.
What
wow.
was the actual way it's supposed to
Once
work?
upon a time.
What's the point? Now there's a man with soup,
Oh yeah, as written, it's
His
just
name
it's,
was Robert Ross.
and he did, and he didn't
as
want a
written.
ladle.
It's literally just screw you. As written, you have to like find and bury his body, and that's
Oh.
not like it's not even like nearby.
Why can't the Malevolence haunts be like that? Why is it we gotta fight?
Good luck finding the bodies.
Why is it we gotta fight a room
that
on fire?
haunt's just a sad story, and then a corner of the room you just don't walk into like this.
Gary asks, "What's your favorite class to play as or write stories for?" If you have any.
I've only played one class in Pathfinder, so that one.
What's your favorite class to play as?
You
Is
played
it
as 2.
You played little guy. You played a barbarian.
Little
Oh no,
guy?
I did play a barbarian. Out of the ones that I've played, it is Witch for sure.
Which is I can't wait to see what they get with the remaster. I think it's gonna be super neat.
Yeah.
Favorite classes to play as / write for. I mean the classes. I was gonna say changeling. That's not a class. It's a race. But like any of the classes that have a little like backstory implication. I mean I'm gonna say thaumaturge, just because I've got so much room for activities with the thaumaturge's like actual class abilities, like the mirror and the wand and stuff. You get so much room to write an entire like story yourself just out of your abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thaumaturge has a bunch of cool stuff going on. They got so many tools,
I think
like storytelling tools. I mean,
I think I've played investigator. I played druid, and I think
you had a son when you were a druid.
Yes.
yes, my little boy.
You were very excited about it.
I did. And I played. I don't remember what I played in the one shot we did. It might have been a fighter, but probably just investigator. I mean, the thumbs up. It was a fighter. I'm probably gonna say investigator. Just because investigator is a very unique class to play. Because I've not played a class that's like it, where you kind of get to like do the scene in the Sherlock Holmes movie where Robert Downey Jr. goes, "I'm gonna slap him in the ear and then kick him in the nuts." Like you get to kind of do that every time, and that's pretty fun.
Pepper discombobulate, then you roll 2, and you're like, no.
You're like, no, actually, I
What
can't
if I
do
just
that.
shoot him in the face?
What if I heal my mother instead?
Yeah.
But I don't really have one to write for because it's, I don't know. Every class has a ton of stuff you could do with it, so it's hard to like.
To me, when I'm writing for stuff, the class matters very little. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really.
There's a lot more you can do with the ancestry in the class, I think.
Yeah.
It's
So
just
there's
kind of the
probably some
character.
exceptions.
I just
but
never really think about it, honestly. I mean, maybe like some races or ancestries. Like
It's just
they're
because you're here. I mean, we have the bit going on with Cammy and the bleaching.
yes,
Just because like you are a gnome.
Yeah.
So like that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing that you can easily just rope it, especially in a campaign like Strange Aeons,
Yeah.
and then make that be something. But like, I mean, there's a witch also gives you some tools. We haven't gotten super deep into that yet because you don't know anything. You
Yeah.
don't even know what your patron is. You have no idea
Right, no
where your
clue.
power comes from. MD and his scars
Yeah.
from being a hold-scarred orc. That's also ancestry. But like, I don't know how much I can really write because he's a rogue. But I can do a bunch because he's an orc.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Especially with Pathfinder, it's easier to write around races and stuff.
Whether it's PC or NPC, favorite comic relief, Salsar Todd. Next question.
Can I say Jumbles? Can I say
You
Jumbles?
can't answer yourself.
Okay.
Why can you not?
Why can't you
Is that
answered
illegal?
yourself, didn't you?
It did sound. I mean, I didn't make Salsar Todd. That's a Patreon NPC.
Yeah.
It's just a really good one.
You liked him so much you did him in Sentima.
I played him in Sentima.
Oh gosh.
Sal Sakahad.
Favorite comic relief. If we can answer, are we just answering ones that we've played?
Just say as and we'll move on.
Yeah.
Oh, I would actually say Chip.
Chip is very fun.
I loved doing Chip.
Chip is fun. Chip is
I was
how we
so-
made Space Uno.
Chip is how we made Space Uno.
And all the backflip bits.
Every
like,
backflip.
Yeah, like it is.
Wanting
Chip.
to be able to eat.
The frozen yogurt. You just walk up to a wall of frozen yogurt and are like, one of everything. Joro's like, can you eat? There was a long pause.
Oh, Chip is every intrusive thought I've ever had. I was so nervous to play Chip because I didn't.
Did great.
I didn't know how to. I didn't know how doing robot speak for that long would work without like just saying crap like does not compute or like what like.
And you didn't say that once.
No, I made a point.
We had one goal with that character, and that was not to say that line specifically.
I also to double back to some of our favorite scenes and stuff. Any scene with Chip and Pepper was very fun because you would always play Chip like, like I'm getting flirted with. It was very fun to do those.
Oh my gosh. I loved Pepper. Pepper was great.
If I can't answer myself as Jumbles, then I will say as the comedic relief.
As is the comedic.
Yeah, as is also comedic relief. Because when Jumbles is feeling sad, Ez can step in real quick.
I'm so glad that everybody liked her as much as I did. I was like, they better like
Ez
this
is like Bang
bird.
Bang with wings.
Yeah, she's so sweet. She's a little angel. Oh my gosh. Favorite comic. Let's gosh, that's really hard. Gizmo is really high up there for me. Gizmo and Widget. I loved Gizmo and Widget.
Yeah,
and
the bits we did with Widget at the end kind of got me good. Like when we're driving in
Widget
the car.
really sold it.
It feels weird because I'm making the jokes, but I think about them and they make me laugh still.
Yeah,
but it's when they're driving in the car and it's like he rolled. Like I think he got a crit on an attack and he just
He
goes
was the
like
only one critting on attacks, but
it's just the robot NPC familiar that has like Terminator vision that is like love or kill. It's like shooting onto something. It was really funny.
oh god.
Legendary slots and craps.
Yes.
That you know what? I take it all back. That's my favorite scene we've done. Is the entire slots and craps bit.
Oh my
is
gosh.
truly hilarious.
That whole episode was one of the best episodes of Secrets, just period.
It is Kevin's character gets robbed. He tries to help an old woman win slots. She wins, gives him $1, and then he causes a scene. Security threatens to kick him out. So he gets an HDMI cable, plugs into the TV above the bar, goes into a broom closet with Widget, and they go, "Hi, we're Slots and Craps. Has an old woman ever robbed you?" They just do a whole like lawyer on TV bit. That was the fun. Like we were doing so much plot, and then he had his own little side adventure.
Yeah, keep in mind there was an entire
He
thing.
was playing his own game in the corner.
Where he just got angry at one grandma. It was
Oh gosh,
great.
I loved that episode.
It's a great episode. That's one of the best
I
episodes.
think it's the oh my gosh, because I also loved Clem being pregnant.
She owed
The
me
entire
money.
Clem being
Clem was
pregnant. Us
pregnant.
being married.
It's
Oh gosh.
the same episode where they're lying to
And
Royce.
the-
They were just lying to Royce the entire time, and we're like, "Yeah, Clementine is pregnant." And Chip.
The entire mechanic was just based on basically improving him to death, like just coming up with more stuff, and it was mostly me and Riley just like coming up with
This is
random
hamster face.
crap
yeah,
to say.
yeah. Answer face.
Well, Corey's favorite comic relief is Jumbles. Here's the next question. Favorite Nat 20 moment and Nat 1 moment.
Oh,
It's not a natural 20.
Mine's not either. What,
But it
does
was a
this mean
critical
literally
success.
rolling a natural 20, or does this mean doing something exceptionally bad?
I have a Nat 20 moment.
Go for it.
It was when I did Bone Shaker for the first time on the bird
Oh, the
and didn't
Oh.
get taken away.
And you absolutely soda
Yes,
canned
I
him.
think that was a Nat 20. It was definitely a crit.
That's it. He makes a save.
I
He
felt
rolled
like-
not good, and then you just went crunch.
I literally felt like my veins were coursing. Like I was like filled with so much adrenaline. So it was also my first like really big like I did Pathfinder like kind of moment.
I
like,
did it! I did it! I won the fight!
It's not a natural 20, but it's right after we put the gun talisman on Chumble's gun, and the first time it worked, and you and I
It
were like,
worked
"What?"
immediately. Instantly worked.
I just pull out a bazooka and blast a paint ghost. Like, it was great.
I think Colby with Lizard's death was really solid. Final boss of Book 1 of Extinction Curse. Party's getting absolutely bodied by this death priest and his boys. And just slamming them. It's not going great. Bryn's character, Lizard Man, dies. Like, full outright dies. Boss still like 80% health. They haven't done anything to this guy. And they have a dead character as their fighter, too.
Oh, no.
So then, in sequence, everybody took their turn and rolled a natural 20 and killed the boss in one round. From
oh
Just
my
4 nat
God.
20s
just
in a row.
down the line. The barbarian
Wow.
obliterated him. The rogue obliterated him. Ara obliterated him. And it just went down the straight, just
Oh my
bing, bing,
gosh.
bing, bing, bing. Everyone just crit him in sequence, and he went from 80% to dead
Wow.
in seconds. The lizard man died, and the whole party just turned and looked at him, and he's like, You know that guy?
That's so good.
The other one is in Sentima, the very first roll you do, and it's all nat 20s. You rolled like
The
three
three
Yes!
nat
20s.
The 3 nat 20s!
That was so good.
That was like the first roll of the campaign. You crushed it immediately.
Oh gosh.
I can't believe that's one of the crowning achievements of my. I see dice on the table. Who y'all think can roll the highest? Watch this right here.
Check this out.
These are my dice. Give
Are
me
we
my
doing
dice.
both
Give me my dice.
D20s?
We rolling both D20s?
Are we?
No, pick a D20.
Pick one.
Pick your favorite kid.
She screamed.
Give me the die
Dropped
that
it.
kills people.
Are we all rolling the same D20? We should pick.
GM dice. You should roll GM.
Okay.
It's the
Pick one.
GMs.
It's not this one, because this one's for me.
No, that's the
You
good
get
one.
the bone
No,
one.
we all roll the good
No,
one.
no.
Even
Give me my
play-
Starfinder dice. That's my Starfinder dice.
Go ahead. Thank you. There you go.
Give me my special dice. I rolled 2 nat 20s.
No, all the same die. All the same die. It's even.
This is
There's
the most
no-
complicated. It's just a simple roll of
There's
dice.
an even
man
way
did
to
not
solve
expect
this.
this.
Why are we fighting it? We're passing that one down.
Nick hates North Carolina. Did not expect. No, I'm gonna roll this one.
And then I will
Then
roll
you
it, and then Corey will roll
We
it.
have a lot
Go
of
first.
state-based viewers.
Why don't you roll your own dice? Get your own
See,
D20.
the very fact
This
that
is
you're
like-
fighting this it proves my point.
Put it in salt water.
8.
8.
7.
Here it is. Let's see.
Your choices,
Let's
Sully.
see
I
it
feel
too.
like your choices.
Great.
I'm a winner with an 8.
17. Let's go. That means I have the best campaign.
Dang it! I thought I was gonna win with an 8.
I like
Okay,
my,
do the Starfinder one now.
I like
We
my
did that
Starfinder
one.
dice.
No,
The
gosh,
big one.
Oh
That
boy.
thing's huge.
The first roll with it.
Boy, we've used it. It's come out once.
Who used it?
Gary had to roll
Gary
it.
got a nat 20 with it.
I was gonna
Gary
say you
rolled
guys
a
died.
nat
Gary
1
almost
and
got
then
a
a
nat
nat
20
20
yes.
with it. Gary almost killed his character with this.
I forgot how many nat 20s we have.
I was sweating. I was like, "You're so close, man! Like, come on.
We're at
What
the
am I
end
gonna
here.
do? Give you a guy to play for the next 2 sessions? Please pull through." Like
I got a 1.
that one.
I died.
HA's dead IRL.
kinda hard
Long
to
live
roll.
John
Yeah, you
UGT.
gotta like kind of toss it a little bit, and I just like
10.
10.
burst
Right
it
down
in
the
the Okay,
middle.
well you get a 20 then. We get 1, 10,
Yeah,
20.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Here
how
it
goes.
is.
Come on.
4.
We're terrible at this.
All right, so our highest roll was a 10.
We're very bad at rolling dice.
And that's
Is it-
malevolence for you.
That's what makes us good GMs.
Malevolence.
It's hard to kill your
Malevolence.
characters when you can't roll higher than a 14. It's okay, honestly. That probably
That's
will kill.
really
That'll
good.
kill a character.
Well,
The
on
boss will
this-
crit with that.
On this note of us rolling well, debatably, I say we end it here because I'm also starving again. Because I know this is how we end
How are
half
we
the
going?
thing.
Hold up.
Huh?
Now we can. Now we can.
Okay. Well, on that note, thank you everyone who joined us today for what was GM advice and then became
Again,
what's
you
your
feel like
favorite?
Pick your favorite
You
friends
feel like you learned.
now.
We answered a couple GM related questions.
There were several that happened, and then it derailed as we always do.
If
But
you-
that's what you're here for. I'm pretty sure at this point.
Well, if that's what you're here for, we have a Patreon where you can get more chaos like this.
You get a post show after every episode, and boy howdy, are they unhinged. So
a lot of them in Malevolence are about Survivor. So if you want to see us talk about
Malevolence
I
Survivor,
took
Post
over a
show.
Strange Aeons
the
one also.
Malevolence post show is a Survivor fan cast. The Strange Aeons post show is just all over the place. I think there's
God.
absolutely no consistency.
and the Abomination Vault
whatsoever.
one, the second one starts with them yelling at me because I forgot to unmute mics for 3 minutes. So
Great variety
There
across
is,
the spectrum.
you are lucky if you enter a post show and the show is discussed maybe once. You can consider yourself fortunate.
So if you want to see more of that, we also have actual Pathfinder shows. We're Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to let them do their thing. Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, you can see AJ GM Strange Aeons. Nice. You can see AJ stream Strange Aeons. Sully is on that cast as well. It's very fun. It's very spooky. They got cool characters. One's named Cammy. Sundays they have.
That's me.
Sundays there's a show that none of us are on called Abomination Vault. So if you really hated us,
goes on over there.
if you really didn't like us, watch Abomination Vault. You're safe then.
You got Nick, you got Jen,
can't
you got
hurt
Fred,
you
you got
over there.
Derp, you got Bobby.
Oh, I see how it is.
And Arcanus.
I wanted to see what you would say. I was like, he's right there. There's no way he doesn't say anything if I name every single other person.
Everything I do, every book. No, you know what? You can have the stream yourself. No, I'm leaving.
If you want to see more of this, subscribe to our Patreon.
We commit the bits.
Oh gosh.
But while you're over there, can you hit end stream? Thank you everybody for joining us. We'll have a good night.
So much.
Okay,
Nobody say that. Who said?